Imagine sitting at your kitchen table, bills scattered everywhere, wondering how you will make it through another month. The mortgage is due, credit cards are maxed out, and there seems to be no way out. You feel like a gerbil in a wheel, running faster and faster but getting nowhere. This was Dave Ramsey's reality before he lost everything and had to rebuild from scratch. What he discovered changed not just his life, but the lives of millions. Dave Ramsey went from millionaire to bankrupt in his 20s. He built a real estate empire worth over $4 million by age 26, but he did it all with borrowed money. When the banks called his notes, everything collapsed. With a brand new baby, a toddler, and crushing debt, Dave and his wife Sharon faced financial hell. They were sued, foreclosed on, and ultimately filed bankruptcy. But from those ashes, Dave discovered something powerful. Money problems are not really about money. They are about behavior. The mirror reveals the real problem. Dave's research led him to one uncomfortable truth. The person causing his money problems was the person he shaved with every morning. He realized that if he could learn to manage the character in his mirror, he could win with money. This is where the total money makeover begins. Not with complex financial theories or get-rich-quick schemes, but with brutal honesty about personal responsibility. Personal finance is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. Most people know what to do with money. They know they should save, avoid debt, and spend less than they earn. The problem is not knowing what to do, but actually doing it. This is why diets fail and why financial plans collapse. Knowing you should eat less and exercise more does not automatically make you thin. Similarly, knowing you should save and avoid debt does not automatically make you wealthy. Dave discovered that winning with money requires a proven plan and focused intensity. He calls this intensity being gazelle intense, referring to how a gazelle runs when being chased by a cheetah. The gazelle does not casually jog. It runs for its life with total focus and maximum effort. That same intensity is required to escape the predator of debt. The foundation of wealth starts with facing denial. The first major obstacle to financial freedom is denial. 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, yet most think they are doing fine. They strike a financial pose, pretending everything is under control while drowning in debt. Like someone who is 100 pounds overweight but refuses to step on a scale. People avoid looking at their true financial condition. Sarah's story illustrates this perfectly. She and her husband John made $75,000 per year with what they considered normal debt. Small student loan, one car payment, and only $5,000 on a credit card. They bought a new home with a big mortgage because that is what successful people do. Then Sarah lost her job. Within months, they faced foreclosure and repossession. The denial was shattered. They were forced to see that they were financially fat, living one crisis away from disaster. Most people need something dramatic to knock the denial out of them. But you do not have to wait for catastrophe. You can choose to look in the mirror today and honestly assess where you stand. If you have debt, no emergency savings, and feel stressed about money every month, you have a problem. Admitting this is not weakness. It is the first step toward freedom. Debt myths keep us trapped in bondage. Our culture has sold us lies about debt. We have been told that debt is a tool, that everyone has car payments, that you need credit cards for emergencies, and that you cannot buy a house without a 30-year mortgage. These are myths, and they keep people trapped in financial slavery. The Bible states clearly that the borrower is slave to the lender. This is not just spiritual wisdom, it is practical reality. When you owe money, you are not free. Your income belongs to creditors before it belongs to you. Every dollar you send to MasterCard, Ford Motor Credit, or Sallie Mae is a dollar that cannot build your wealth. Consider this math. The typical American household has an $850 house payment, a $495 car payment, a $180 second car payment, a $165 student loan payment, and a $185 credit card payment. Add another $120 for furniture, stereos, and personal loans. That totals $1,995 per month in payments. If this same family invested that amount instead of sending it to creditors, they would become millionaires in just 15 years with average mutual fund returns. After 28 years, they would have $5.5 million. The path to wealth is not complicated. Stop sending your money to lenders and start keeping it for yourself. But this requires destroying the myths that make debt seem acceptable or even smart. One persistent myth claims you should keep your mortgage for the tax deduction. This is financial insanity. If you have a $900 house payment with $830 going to interest, you pay about $10,000 in interest annually. Yes, this creates a tax deduction. If you are in a 30% bracket, you avoid $3,000 in taxes, but you just sent $10,000 to the bank to avoid sending $3,000 to the government. Who in their right mind trades $10,000 for $3,000 and calls it smart? Another myth promotes car leasing as sophisticated. Car leasing is actually the most expensive way to operate a vehicle. The math is designed to confuse you, but when you break it down, leasing costs far more than buying, especially buying quality used cars with cash. The average millionaire drives a 2-year-old paid-for car. Not because they cannot afford new ones, but because they refuse to waste wealth on depreciating assets. The credit card myth might be the most damaging. We are told cards are necessary for emergencies, to build credit, and for convenience. Yet studies show people spend 47% more when using credit instead of cash. When you use plastic, spending does not hurt. When you hand over cash, you feel the transaction, which naturally limits spending. Plus, CardTrack reports that 60% of credit card users carry balances monthly, paying devastating interest rates. The 7 baby steps provide the proven plan. Dave Ramsey developed 7 baby steps that guide people from financial chaos to wealth. These steps must be done in order. Trying to do everything at once leads to frustration and failure. Focus on one step at a time with intensity. Baby step 1 requires saving $1,000 fast. This starter emergency fund keeps minor emergencies from derailing your progress. When the car needs a $300 repair, you can pay cash instead of using credit. This small buffer between you and Murphy's Law makes all the difference. For most people, reaching this step takes less than a month if they get serious about selling items, working extra hours, or cutting expenses. A teacher named Patricia started here. Divorced for 8 years, raising 2 kids alone, she lived paycheck to paycheck with survival debt. She had nearly given up hope of ever having savings. When Patricia saved her first $500, something changed inside her. For the first time in her adult life, she had money between herself and disaster. Her friend noticed that even Patricia's face looked different now that she had peace. Hope changes everything. Baby step 2 launches the debt snowball, the most powerful step for most people. List all debts except your mortgage from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate. Pay minimum payments on everything except the smallest debt. Attack that smallest debt with every available dollar until it is gone. Then roll that payment plus any extra money onto the next smallest debt. As each debt disappears, your available money snowballs, letting you attack remaining debts with increasing force. Critics question why Dave ignores interest rates and targets small debts first. The answer is behavior modification. Personal finance is more about psychology than mathematics. When you pay off that first small debt quickly, you get a win. That win provides motivation to keep going. Quick progress beats perfect math every time when you are changing behavior. The debt snowball requires gazelle intensity. You sell so much stuff that your kids worry they are next. You work extra hours. You cut expenses ruthlessly. Randy, a plumber, worked 10 hours a day, 7 days a week for 21 months. He paid off $78,000 by age 26. His wife hardly saw him during that intense period, but she supported him because they both knew freedom was coming. Today, they live completely differently because Randy ran like a gazelle. Baby Step 3 completes your emergency fund by saving 3 to 6 months of expenses. Once you are debt-free except for your home and have thousands in savings, life changes. What used to be emergencies become mere inconveniences. When Dave was broke, a $580 water heater repair was devastating. Today, replacing a $570 water heater barely registers. The stress relief that comes from financial margin cannot be measured. Men and women view emergency funds differently. Most men want to invest or spend extra money. Most women want security. Guys, listen carefully. Your wife has a security gland, and financial stress causes it to spasm. This affects her emotions, concentration, even your love life. One of the best investments you will ever make is in a fully funded emergency fund. It will relax her security gland and make your life much better. Sharon's peace of mind from their oversized emergency fund is worth more to Dave than any additional investment return he might earn elsewhere. Baby Step 4 directs you to invest 15% of your income toward retirement. Why not more? Because you have other important goals like college funding and paying off your mortgage. Why not less? Because you need to be investing for your future even while accomplishing other objectives. Many people want to skip investing to pay off their house faster or save for college, but that leaves them at 75 years old with a paid-for house and no money. Do not make that mistake. Invest in good growth stock mutual funds with long track records. Dave recommends spreading investments equally across 4 types. Growth and income funds, which are sometimes called large cap or blue chip funds. Growth funds, sometimes called mid-cap or equity funds. International funds, sometimes called foreign or overseas funds. And aggressive growth funds, sometimes called small cap or emerging market funds. This diversification provides solid growth potential while managing risk. The math is compelling. Joe and Susie average make $50,000 per year and invest $625 per month starting at age 30. With average 12% returns, they will have over $7.5 million tax-free in Roth IRAs by age 70. What if those projections are half wrong? They still have nearly $4 million. This beats the 97 out of 165-year-olds who cannot write a check for $600. Baby Step 5 funds college for your children. Start with educational savings accounts, which grow tax-free when used for education. You can invest $2,000 per year per child. If you start when your child is born and invest until age 18, that child can go to virtually any college debt-free. For those who want to save more or whose income prevents ESA contributions, certain flexible 529 plans offer good alternatives. Dave emphasizes that student loans are not inevitable. They are a cancer that takes decades to cure. 70% of students borrow for school, but that does not make it wise. Students can work, attend cheaper schools, live in dorms, and apply for scholarships. One listener applied for 1,000 scholarships over a summer. She was rejected by 970, but received 30 scholarships totaling $38,000. She went to school completely debt-free while her neighbor borrowed and complained. Baby Step 6 pays off your home mortgage early. This seems radical in a culture where everyone assumes they will always have a house payment. But the average millionaire has a paid-for home. Why? Because they refuse to send huge chunks of their income to banks when they could be building wealth instead. A 30-year mortgage at 7% on $225,000 costs $485,000 total. A 15-year mortgage on the same amount costs only $341,000. The monthly payment increases by $550, but you save almost $150,000 and 15 years of bondage. Once you reach this step with no other payments, that extra $550 is easy to find. Some argue they keep their mortgage for the tax deduction. This is the same faulty logic discussed earlier. Others claim they will invest the difference between renting and owning, but studies show 97% of people do not systematically pay extra on mortgages. The discipline simply does not exist. A 15-year mortgage automates the discipline. Luke and his wife prove that paying cash for a home is possible. Making $80,000 per year, they lived in a tiny apartment over a garage for $250 monthly. They saved $50,000 per year for 3 years and paid cash for a $150,000 home. At age 26, they owned their home outright. Friends thought they were crazy. But who is crazy? The couple with 0 payments or the couple with 30 years of mortgage slavery ahead? Baby step 7 builds wealth and gives. This is where life gets really fun. You have no payments, significant savings, retirement fully funded, kids' college covered, and even your house paid off. Now your income becomes a powerful wealth-building tool. At this stage, Dave says money is good for 3 things only: fun, investing, and giving. Fun means enjoying some of the wealth you have created. Buy the Harley if you are a millionaire and it barely dents your net worth. Take your family on amazing vacations. Upgrade your lifestyle reasonably. You have earned it through years of sacrifice. Investing continues even after financial independence. Your money should work harder than you do. When your nest egg generates more income than you need to live, you have reached the pinnacle point. This is when your wealth compounds beyond your lifetime needs, allowing you to leave an inheritance and give generously. Giving becomes the most rewarding use of money. Dave met Secret Santa, who gave away $25,000 in $100 bills every Christmas. When asked why, Secret Santa said it was the most fun he could have with money. Only the financially strong can help the weak. A broke person cannot rescue others, but a wealthy person with a generous heart can change lives. Wealth requires spiritual maturity. The danger of wealth is that it makes you more of what you already are. If you are generous, wealth allows massive generosity. If you are greedy, wealth amplifies greed. If you are kind, wealth enables extraordinary kindness. If you are a jerk, you become king of the jerks. Wealth is not the answer to life's questions. Money will not fix broken relationships, heal emotional wounds, or provide purpose. Rich jerks are no happier than poor jerks. The goal is not just accumulating wealth, but becoming the kind of person who can handle it with grace, humility, and purpose. Dave emphasizes that loving money is evil, but money itself is neutral. Good people have a duty to gain wealth so they can do good things with it. If all good people avoid wealth because they mistakenly think it is evil, then only bad people will have money. That would be a tragedy. The world needs generous, wealthy people who use resources to help others, support worthy causes, and create opportunities. Your total money makeover starts now. The proven plan exists. Tens of thousands have followed these 7 baby steps from broke to wealthy. The question is whether you will join them. Will you look in the mirror and admit you have a problem? Will you attack debt with gazelle intensity? Will you sacrifice today so you can live differently tomorrow? This is not about get-rich-quick schemes or magic formulas. This is about behavior change, discipline, and following a plan that works. It will be hard. You will get tired. Friends will question your sanity when you sell your car, skip vacations, and work extra hours. But if you will live like no one else, later you can live like no one else. Dave's favorite success stories are not about the dollars. They are about transformed marriages, reduced stress, renewed hope, and families that changed their entire tree. When you gain control of money, you gain control of your life. You can breathe, you can dream. You can give generously and live with purpose. The total money makeover is a total life makeover. As you change your money habits, you will change emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. You will become the person you were meant to be, free from the bondage that debt creates. So take the first step today. Save that first $1,000. List your debts smallest to largest. Start your debt snowball. Get gazelle intense. The journey may take years, but every step moves you closer to freedom. And freedom is worth every sacrifice. Thank you for watching. If this plan resonates with you, please subscribe to our channel for more life-changing financial content. Visit our channel for detailed summaries on wealth building, debt freedom, and financial peace. Your journey to a total money makeover begins with the decision to change, and that decision starts right now.